Queridísimos amigos de Bucs Report, in my broken English, I'm here to teach you some Spanish. Cañones is pronounced cañones. But no more jokes, let's start out 2 minutes warning, 4 downs to beat the targets, let's go. First down, keep them under 23 points. The Chargers struggle if they don't hit 23 points. Look at the last games, when the score stays low, they don't win. Our defense needs to step up and hold them down like a kid on a sugar rush in bedtime. No big plays, no easy point. Second down, dominate in the red zone. Stopping the Chargers in the red zone is critical. Against the Raiders, our defense made life hard for them inside 20. We need the same energy here. Make them settle for field goals or even better for turnovers. The strong red zone defense can break their rhythm. Third down, run, and run some more. The Chargers hate the run game. Just ask the Falcons and the Ravens, who tore them apart on the ground. Good news, we have Rashad White, Sean Tucker, and Hallelujah Bucky Irving ready to go. Pound the rock and control the clock. Keep Herbert on the sideline sipping Gatorade? Yes. 4 down battle on the benches. Todd Bowles needs to stay sharp. Chargers Kim Harbaugh is from Bill Callahan's coaching tree and he is a smart one, but he outcoached Bowles from the Arians Reed Knoll tree? I don't know. This is chess, not checkers. The sideline battle might just decide this game. And it's all. Keep under 23 points, dominate the red zone, run, and battle on the benches. And there you have it. My prediction: Bucs 27, Chargers 20. Let's fire the cannons and sing some balls. Boom, boom, boom. Bye.
And there it is, folks. Again, let's give a great shout out to Alf Cominier, to the Cañones y Football Spain podcast show that he is holding it down on. Guys, the man is out here doing the damn thing. We're in a national Bucs report and Bucs family. So I just want you to send Alf your biggest support because he knows his shit. He loves football. Most importantly, he loves the Bucs. And you see how he intellectually breaks the game down. And he scored on so many points that we're going to get into tonight. So again, shout out to Alf Cominier of Cañones y Football. Shout out to Spain for loving the Bucs. We love you. But no further ado, thank you again, guys, for tuning in to Bucs Report, the aftermath on 102.9 The Game, Broad Street South Radio. It's one of your hosts, AJ, turn up in the house. We have Coach Slick, a.k.a. the British guy who's always fly. He'll be here on standby. But right now, and you already know, the dude who ain't scared to be in rude will make his presence known later on. But let's get into what he said. That was a hell of a assessment. He said a lot of things that I agree with. One of the biggest things is let's go start on the defensive side because as we know, Buck fans, before we even get into that, because Al broke things down last week, we were happy that the Bucs won because we got to get this out here because we have certain people in the Bucs community that just want to be right. But my thing is, if you just want to be right and hear yourself talk, take that shit somewhere else. Please, I have to say that. And most importantly, that we got to get this out. When Tom Brady came to this organization, it wasn't just Tom Brady. it was Jason Light, Arians, the coaching staff. They all set a new expectation of Buccaneer football, of greatness, positivity in the locker room, accountability, a championship mindset. Do we not want to still have that same mentality and hold people to accountabilities when they do good or right? Or do you just want to soak in, I just want to be right? I say, fuck all that, Buck fans. I am going to hold this team to the same standards that they were the ones that stated, not us. They said the losing days are over. What did Todd Bowles say? He didn't say rebuild. He said reset. So last time I checked, reset is not completely starting over. It's just repolishing. So I don't want to hear no other bullshit about, well, guys, and hey, wait, he doesn't have this, he doesn't have that. Fuck that. Other coaches doing the same thing. If your beloved Bowles, that some of you bold disciples love so much, he should be able to adjust. That is the biggest thing that a lot of Bucs fans, and including myself, that's all we're trying to say. Are we happy that we got the Bucs win against the Raiders? Yes. The most important shit is they won, but we also have to assess how they won. If you're out there, Buck fans, pumping your chest, glazing yourself, going, man, we're back. Defense is back. Let me give you some let me give you a reality check. Because as I always say, reality checks don't bounce. You played a backup quarterback. Then he got hurt. You played a backup. They had one tight end who was kicking ass. But again, if you don't have a quarterback to throw the fucking rock to him, it doesn't matter. That's all I'm going to say. I want to see him do this shit against a starting caliber quarterback in Justin Herbert, because that's who we playing this week, guys. We're not playing Joe Schmo or whoever the fuck else. We're playing a starting caliber quarterback that can make you lose, that can hurt you if you fuck around and don't take this team seriously. That's all Buck fans, real fans of football, is trying to educate you people out there, because we have to play like champions. And again, I'm holding the Bucs organization to the standards that they fucking started. They're the ones who said, guys, we want you to believe in us. Those losing days are over. Now that we got that out there, if you want to talk to me, by all means, AJ Turn Up Twitter, Instagram, my TikTok, for as much time as we have left, I'm here. You want to talk some shit, by all means. I'm ready for it, because I had to check other people earlier. So we're not even going to get into that whole thing. We're here to talk about the Bucs and the Chargers, but I had to get that rant out, because people, just be smart. Be smart. If you're going to challenge me, just come with some facts.
We'll get after you, AJ.
What's up, Slick? See, I told you he was here. Nothing much, man.
Just driving home now, baby. Just driving home now.
No worries, man. Handle your business. We were just out here talking Bucs football. First of all, another shout out to Alf Cominier from the Cañones y Football podcast. The man was out here breaking down the keys to the game on how to defeat the Chargers. I wanted to wait for you to get into that, but now that you're on the road, we can talk about the Raiders game first, because that's important. We got to get this out the way, because Slick, as a coach and as someone who loves the game of football and who's coached it, we were happy. We can both agree we wanted the Bucs to win, but we still have questions on what the fuck. Why is it both sides of the ball? We should have obliterated the Raiders. Should we?
Yeah. It just feels like time and time again, this Tampa Bay Buccaneers football team is struggling to put both sides together. And I was talking to the dude earlier this morning, and he said to me, he really does feel that this Buccaneer football team plays up and down. So if they play up against a good squad, they put the effort in. When they go up against a weaker team, and it really kind of shows, because we're seeing this effort when we go up against the Kansas City Chiefs. We're seeing this effort when we go up against the Niners. But we don't see as much effort. I'm not saying it's everyone. I'm not saying it's a collective. I'm not saying it's coaches. All I'm saying, there just seems to be like an off button or like a loafing button when it comes to playing against weaker opposition. Now, every dog has his day and all that shit. And I know the Carolina Panthers have been a competitive team pretty much throughout the season. So they've probably been more competitive than the Saints, realistically. But the biggest issue that I find is we've got a running attack. We have the aerial attack. Mike Evans didn't really come into the game until right at the end when we needed him to. That shit should have been worked out. I don't know why Mike Evans didn't get as many targets. I don't know what's going on too much there, and I don't want to read too much stock into it. But the result of the thing is, the positive is Jalen McMillan had himself a day and is starting to really show who he is and what we wanted out of him. So that's good. That's good. Rashad White, I like this battle in him because he's like, okay, I've got an opportunity to be the starter today. I'm going to fucking run with it. And he did. And that's the hunger you want to see. But we need more.
We definitely need more. Slick, you said it best. I just think the same thing. We have got to learn how to, when you're playing a team that you know that you are better than and you have the talent to prove otherwise, you have to put them away early. If we did it right, if we would have kept our shit together, we could have beaten this team in the 40s to 10 or something, or 40 to
genuinely, I expected the defense to suffer because of the.
He broke in and out, guys. Don't worry.
Yeah, we got genuine injuries on the defense that we.
Well, yeah, the defense just got to step up. And speaking of that, Slick,
we had guys. So it's not good, man.
I got you. And just to let you know, Slick, my brother, you're breaking in and out, but don't worry. I'm getting pieces of it. I'm getting pieces of your knowledge. I hear you. Hopefully you can stay in on this one because this was a very telling moment on this Bucs team. When Mike Evans got upset, I said, you know how much it takes to get Mike Evans upset? Because he saw piss poor effort. And I think it was on the fourth down when Dean missed the tackle. Can't do that.
Yep.
Cannot do that. And Mike Evans had a right.
Oh, for sure. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like I've just come back and healed for this. Yeah. I've got myself right for this. This is the effort we're going to put in.
That's right. So that means I have a feeling that people are talking to Dean behind the scenes saying, look, man, you got to get your shit together, because that's another thing that you and I, Slick, and the dude, we've all been talking about this for a while. When it comes to Dean's tackling, it's very sus. It's like one moment he'll try to make a tackle, but the most part, his tackling is awful. And it's not because of technique. I truly think it's due to effort. When I don't see the effort, that's what will piss me off. And I think that's what Mike Evans saw. He saw a lack of effort.
Yeah. I mean, that particular one, he tends to lose his leverage quite often. And when he loses his leverage, the guy just slips past him. I don't know if that's because he's trying to try and fight for the ball, or I don't know. It wasn't good to see.
Yeah, I just think that sometimes he just does that lazy shit where he thinks he can grab them and they're gonna fall. It's like, one, man, you're not like a strong kind of like physical diesel type of corner. You just need to make the damn fundamental tackle, wrap up, drag him to the ground, and call it a day. Also, again, when Mike Evans gets that frustrated, when Mike Evans and Levante David have to yell and cuss you out, I'm going to believe them 99% of the time and go, hey, you fucking up, because those guys just lead by example and they're quiet for a reason. But if they have to get out of character, that means something is not right. I truly just think sometimes, like you said, we play down to the competition because we think we can. I truly think sometimes the coaches and the players feel like they can coast their way to a victory, not realizing you're playing against other professional athletes on the other side of the damn field that are playing for their livelihood.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're not going to just let you walk all over them. You forget you have a guy like Crosby. All it takes, you know this, like as a coach, It just takes one side of the ball to give you that spark.
Yep.
What if the Bucs, Tyke doesn't intercept that ball and the Raiders drive down the field and they score a touchdown?
Yeah. You got to look at those things, and you've just got to make sure you got your shit right.
You got to make sure your shit right, and you got to know how to put teams away. I think Cohen, for the past 2 weeks, he has been sputtering, in my personal opinion, as someone who does offensive thinking and loves that. I think he is making the plays way too complex in the passing, and his decision making in certain down situations have been sporadic. If it's 2nd and 1, run the fucking ball. If it's something short, you don't have to go for the deep pass, because I think people are saying the Bucs need the deep pass. Not yet. Take what the defense gives. You have the talent and receivers to dink and dunk your way down to set up the deep pass.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the rules of football. Manipulate the defense into getting them to do what you want them to do, right?
Yeah.
If you start doing all that short shit, guess what? They're going to start coming down. And when they come down, what are you going to do? You're going to smash them in the mouth with that ball over the top.
Amen.
It's football 101. Lull them to death with the boring fucking 5-yard slants, crossing routes, in and out breaking routes, all within 5 yards or under. And then when they're like, I'm fucking sick of this team just fucking dinking and dunking their way up the field, that corner will start to come down a little bit, or that safety will come down a little bit, and they'll cheat. And once you get them to cheat and you know that they're cheating, you've got them dead to fucking rights.
Keyword, dead to rights. And Slick, I just think this. You also got to believe in your players and not have so much fear in what the oppositions can do. Because I look at it like this. The Raiders or the Chargers, as I'll say this, both teams, they have some decent secondary, but they're not the Legion of fucking Boom. So you take those chances. I look at it like this. If you're gonna take the deep shot, put the right players in the position. We still have Trey Palmer on this team. Why are you not utilizing his abilities to stretch the field? Why are you not putting him in positions where we know he can get that separation? And don't give me this. It's the quarterback is not confident in him. I think that's bullshit. I think sometimes Cohen, again, overthinks. This is a team where, like you said, if they don't load the box, run the ball down their fucking throat until they have to load the box. And then you throw over their head.
And then you can manipulate. That's manipulating the safety, right? You're making them making them check into a heavier package because you're dominating in the run game. So what happens is you sub out a DB and put in another linebacker, or you put in another lineman. You know, you get your heavies in. That's when you take advantage of the width of the field, because last I checked, these linebackers aren't that good against in and out breaking routes. Well, probably more on an in breaking route than they are on an out breaking route. So you take it. It's all about creating your own matchup. I want you to do this, so I'm going to make you. Okay, they're running the football, right? Get one of the safeties up. We're going to have to go one high because they're killing us with this fucking run game. Go and bring him third choice linebacker. He's going to play linebacker and tell him where he's got to go. Okay, we'll do that.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm going to take advantage of an outbreaking route or a corner route on your ass, because I know you ain't going to be able to cover it. I know you ain't going to be able to cover it because you're a linebacker.
That's it. And we know what to expect of this Chargers game. But I just wanted to get this this last thing about the Raiders out, because again, we have to be real with ourselves. The defense, Bowles, you played against a backup fucking quarterback and another backup. You did your job. Slick, some Buck fans out there think we're trying to give Bowles a hard time, and we're saying no, but we still need you to dominate, because again, Buck fans, if you forgot, the Raiders shoot 10 minutes off that third quarter. That usually is a recipe for disaster. If we played a better team, that they would have scored a touchdown. We played the Chiefs, they scored a touchdown, Slick. So that's what we're trying to figure out. Bowles, what the hell were you doing? You didn't adjust soon enough. Why did you allow them to march down the field like that? And again, that wasn't a good scheme from Bowles when Tyke got the pick. That was a Tyke moment.
I mean, when it comes to coaching, the only thing you can do is like on Tyke, it'll be like fundamentals, it'll be ball work, football drills, recognition, stuff that they probably either he's seen on tape or that they've told him to pay attention to on tape or that they've tagged on tape and things like that. So it's coaching in a sense, but it's not like he didn't call out the perfect play for him to get open. That happens more on offense, right?
Right.
Or pass rushes or blitzes. That's coaching on that side of things. You can't really turn around and go, well, I called cover 2 and then I called cover 3 and he got the pick because of me. It's like, no. I mean, you can to a degree, but that's not usually how it works.
That's not how it works, but that's another thing. We cannot always rely on miracle plays. Get the early 3 and outs. That's one thing that I've always wanted Bowles to do, because it seems like you said it before. Sometimes he plays chess, but sometimes he overplays it too much and he misses moves that weren't there in the first place. It's okay, Bowles, to get a 3 and out early. That sets your offense up in great position. We want the offense to be out on the field longer than the defense. We always want our defenders to only be out there for 3 or 4 plays at most. Pin your ears back and make shit happen. That's how it's supposed to be. So that is why I truly think that this game coming up, Cohen has really got to do some self-reflection and go, okay, am I doing too much to put my players in bad positions? Bowles, am I putting my defense in bad positions? Because yes, if you're down, backups, Slick, the first thing I'm going to say is I just want you to play the basic package, nothing too complex. And it seems like he still does. Bowles sometimes doesn't do that. If Merriweather is going to be your safety, don't make him do anything that he can't do. That's all I got to say on that one. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, you got to set him up for the best. I think he had a great game. I really like watching Merriweather in the last game. I think he really stepped up as a player. You know, considering he just come off the bench or off the practice squad or off the street. I'm not entirely sure, but I believe it was off the street. He's had a really good showing, and I really hope that he continues to do that. I believe it's going to be Merriweather and Christian Izzy will be the safeties for this week. And rightfully so. Both are playing quite well. Both have played pretty well when they needed to, and that's the only reason. I wouldn't say I give Bowles a pass, but I have a bit more. Okay, you had some real conundrum problems defensively that you had to figure out from the safety point of view. So I kind of go, okay, fair enough. I can see why you didn't dominate, but then we've done that when we've had when we've had a full lot of safeties in anyway. So
absolutely. It's just simply to me. It's simply about just again
kneel away from the fucking keep them on special teams or some shit.
Yeah, and just play basic coverages. If you know that you have backups in, don't allow them to do anything where they have to overthink. Just like we're saying with the offense, don't overthink something. If you know that you're bringing in backups, let them play to the best of their abilities. You saw we just got Deion Jones off of the practice.
I like the pickup.
Yeah,
I think he's a good player.
I like the pickup too. Hell, in a way, he also helped shape the history of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. If it wasn't for that pick 6,
yeah,
we might not necessarily get Brady. So Deion Jones, thank you for what you did.
Absolutely. I mean, you got to look at it from that perspective, because that wasn't that game. If we won that game, we'd have gone to the playoffs with Jameis.
I think so. I think we could have.
All we had to do was win one fucking game, and we had 3 in a row. All we had to do was win one fucking game to scrape into the wild card. We went 8-7-9.
7-9.
We went 7-9. We could have got in on an 8-8 record or something like that, because we went against it's the last 2 games of the season. We went against the Texans. That was fucking pick 6 to start the game, pick 6 to end the game. And then we played the Falcons, and that was a pick 6 to end the game as well. So all they had to do was pick up fucking one win. Couldn't be done.
Yeah, and that was all she wrote. So I do like the pickup too. I think it will bring stability to the linebacking core. And
he's a good coverage linebacker as well.
That's right. I agree as well. And now that we have gotten that out of our system. Hold on. JT, sup? Thank you. Christopher Cole, I do agree. There's a lot of wide open wide receivers in our secondary. We'll talk about that as well. Cohen has to scheme Evans open all day long. Damn right he does. Damn right he does. So we're gonna get to that. But before we do, now we can talk about the game, the main event. Slick, trying to, hopefully you almost in the crib because these fans want to see your pretty face. But Alf Cominair from the Cañones y Football, my man said, keep the Chargers under 23 points, 100%. We need to have red zone dominance and, of course, run. I agree with all three of those topics. So, Alf, shout out to you again because you read my mind.
Defensively, as long as you can keep a team under and you can score more points than that, like the hallmark defense, if you can keep a team under 21 and you can score over 21, you're gonna get success, right? Yep. A good offense can score more than 20 points. A good defense can hold a team to less than 20 points. That's where you kind of get your thing. I think the safeties will be attacked the most. So look, Bowles has to be really careful about how he allows the Chargers to get open deep. Like, he needs to shut that shit down. I wouldn't really go with any safety blitzes. I'd probably blitz more out of the nickels and the dimes and out your linebacker out of your linebacking core. I'd keep the safeties doing something as simple as possible, whether they're going they're in a too high and they're doing cover 2 man, or they're doing cover 1 man and one's got middle hole, or they're in cover 3. Don't overcomplicate for them. They're guys off the street. Let's not fuck around.
Oh, no doubt. I truly think this is the game where if Bowles, you got to go against the grain and go. I would have the two safeties deep, and I'd have my corners playing nothing but a lot, for the most part, man press coverage. It will do them favors. You want to know why, Slick? Can you name me the two wide receivers on the Chargers?
It's been a while, so no.
That's a beautiful thing. You know why? Because they ain't worth a shit.
Keenan Allen was the last guy I remembered.
Exactly. They ain't worth a shit. That's the whole point. And it's not me trying to dog them, but what my whole point is, you don't even.
They don't have that star power name. Yeah,
they don't have a star power
name. You turn around and talk to the Seahawks, you know who they got, right? You know they got DK Metcalf. You know that Tyler Lockett's a problem. You know that they've got Noah Fant. So you know what they've got, but I don't know anything about the Chargers.
And that's okay, because you know why they don't. They know Harbaugh is very aware that he doesn't have enough offensive firepower to have a shootout with most teams. So what he likes to do, this is a game where, honestly, in my opinion, Slick, if the Bucs can get up 17-0 first quarter, it's over. Why? Because Herbert has no one to throw to like that. So this is a game where if the Bucs get up early, the defense can kind of be extra aggressive. They can take shots. He can do those little blitz disguises that he loves so much. What we want to do is put the game away early with a big lead, because the Chargers are not good at playing from behind when they have a big lead ahead of them. What we don't want is the Chargers to play a close game. Unlike the Raiders, it would be hard for the Bucs to pull away at the end, especially if the offense is not in sync.
Yeah, it's a good strategy. I don't know what their defense presents. They still got I don't know.
They got Khalil Mack and Bosa, so that's
okay. So they got it's the pass rush you got to watch with them.
Yes, that's why we said
they got Derwin James Jr.
Derwin is still there. Yes, Derwin is there, but he's only one individual, and he's most likely going to help double Mike Evans.
Sure, and then that's the matchup there. You want to try and get them to attack Mike Evans so you can feed the other guys, and then eventually they'll go, I can't keep covering Mike because he's not getting the ball. So, and maybe that was part of the strategy versus the Raiders. I don't know.
This is a game where, honestly, you want to target Evans still. But if you target Evans, he doesn't have to take the deep shots. I look at it like this. If they're going to play off of Evans, you just throw right to him. You throw a short pass to him and let him get the ball. He's not gonna, you don't have to worry about him getting dinged up like that. Short passes, in my opinion, is what's going to keep him going, because if you force him the ball, that also, like you said, Slick, that also is going to leave opportunities for guys like Trey Palmer, McMillan, Otten to step up, because they're going to be worried. Again, I guarantee you sometimes the middle of the field for the Chargers is going to be wide open. Why I say that, Slick, is because, like you said, Derwin is going to have to motion towards Evans, more likely to help out. So if I am Cohen and Baker, look at that middle of the field, and if you see that it's going to be open, Otten has shown you that he has the speed to get behind linebackers, because Khalil and Nick are going to try to rush off the edge and try to get to Baker. So if that happens, a quick dump off pass, or what I would like to see is a rollout where Baker is running with the ball and Trey Palmer does a deep out.
Yeah, I mean, that would work.
It would definitely work. I wanted to show a little quick video because this will also give you a little some time to get home, Slick. But guys, check out my YouTube channel. It's about Buck and Time. And this is a small clip of what I mean about why the Bucs need to run the ball, because that is the bread and butter of this game. So of our team. So I'm going to show you guys this. Enjoy. See you in a sec, Slick. Long time since we can say that. And the good thing is we're damn good at it, because we don't have one, not two, but three running backs that can get the damn job done. Bucky Irvin is out here. He should be the rookie of the year, but this is a quarterback-driven league, so of course he's not going to get it. But Bucky has a strong argument of being offensive rookie of the year, the 4th-round Oregon running back. The guy knows how to hit the gaps. He can maneuver. He's good in pass catching. Whatever Bucky needs to do, he can get it. And he's a strong back, and that's why I enjoy seeing him this season. So that's your guy right there that wear down defenses. That's the guy that we really love. Also, Sean Tucker, very explosive, got speed. He also is another running back that is good at receiving the rock and able to run. Look at what he did against the New Orleans Saints. The guy was a stud, and so he should be utilizing this offense as well. And we cannot forget about good old Rachaad White. Rachaad White might not necessarily be the short yardage running back that we see in Bucky, but he still serves a great purpose at running the rock, catching and receiving, and he is still. Enough said right there. The Bucs, Slick, it's a beautiful thing. Buck fans, your Tampa Bay Buccaneers is a run-first team, and they're good at it. Good at it. Usually, you only have two backs or one, and the other guys are just stepping stones. But we have three backs, Slick, that know how to get the job done and that are efficient. That's one thing that I will say that is a positive that I will take over any running back, any other teams in the league, is that all of our running backs are efficient. When Derrick Henry goes out of the game, if their other running back is a major drop-off. The only other team that has two backs that are on the same level is Detroit's Montgomery and Gibbs.
Yeah. I mean, look, it is nice to have that free-headed monster. What you alluded to with good old Rachaad White is the fact that he has been the feature back. So he can do the job, but I just think it's not a role that's suited to him for a long period of time. So if he needs to pick up the slack for like a quarter of a season, he's that guy who can do it because he has that experience. Sean Tucker's emerging a bit more. And I think they like to use Rachaad a lot towards the end because he does gash off home run hits. He does tend to, when he pops off, because they're so tired, and they are a really good tandem in how they both play, because they're very different to each other in how they run their running style and how they play. So when you've had a heavy dose of Bucky Irvin, the last thing you want in the fourth quarter is the zippiness of Rachaad White trying to run around you, because you're already fucked.
That's right. I agree. And that's another thing. That's what we need to do. We got to get very physical in the trenches very early. I'd say, in my personal opinion, try to run the rock, give Bucky the first 7, 8 carries. Then you switch to Sean Tucker to give him 5, and then you switch to Rashard White with 5. I look at it like this. I don't give a damn if it's 1st and 15, Slick, run the ball. If they're going to back out of coverage like we know they most likely will, run the rock. Run the damn rock, because I think the Bucs, Cohen does very well when the run game is getting in. The run game gives this offense rhythm. It sets up the passing in such a good way. I honestly think when we run the ball so well, that's how those screens work very well. The receivers, I think that to me are going to make some noise, Slick. That I think Sterling Shepard and Otten are going to have themselves a day.
I hope so. And the thing about I love what Sterling's brought to this team, and energy and his passion and all those kinds of things. And he's still making plays, and he has really stepped up in the absence of Chris Godwin. Out of all the wide receivers, when both of them were out, he was probably the leader of that room, in all fairness, and I think he did a really good job. But talking on K-Dot, this is a guy who was basically our best receiving threat while Chris and Mike were out. And it's kind of like he's fallen off the cliff since Mike Evans has returned. Now, it's not like Mike Evans is stealing his numbers, because Mike Evans hasn't been force-fed the ball, whereas Cade Otton was force-fed the ball for those 4 weeks that he was out, right?
Right.
So what my question to Liam Cohen is, what's happened? Why has he gone from being this high-volume dude to you're not really giving him the ball? Is that because teams are paying more attention to him and he's now getting covered better, so he's not getting open as much, so he's not becoming that receiving threat? Is it because they just didn't feel like the tight end was a good they didn't really like the tight end matchup in this game, so they didn't really kind of give it much thought? Or has K. Dotton dropped off a little bit because he's been overworked?
That's a great question. I think it's a combination of Cohen is trying to figure out who to give the hot hand to, who's going to have the hot start. But this is where you and I can both say, just keep it simple. Whatever side of the ball that you see that the dummy, the donkey on the other side is messing up, attack it, because now we're playing a game. We're playing a team where Khalil Mack and Bosa on both sides of the ball can do some damage. Now, thankfully, the strength of our line is the outside, but we don't want to put that kind of pressure on those guys. And we know more than likely they're going to try to blitz up the middle to put a lot of pressure on Baker. This is why I think Sterling definitely is going to have to come up in this game. I would like to see Sterling. I can see Sterling having a 70-yard game, but Otten as well. But if we're going to also run the ball back to running again, we got to do double tight end sets. We have Payne Durham. He is a dog. And there could be a moment where Durham gets open. I think you're right, Slick, that defenses now are honing in on Otten a little bit more. But this is why I think Payne Durham would be such a sneaky attack, especially in the red zone. Like, can you imagine him? Like, if we're on the 10, you got Mike Evans on one side, or him and Evans on one side, and most likely Durham is going to cover Evans. They're going to have to. Durham can get open. He's 6'7", so a quick lob, he's in there, and he's got decent hands.
Yeah, I mean, I like what I've seen out of Payne Durham so far this season. He has stepped up a little bit more. He did look like a lost puppy last year, but he's really starting to find his NFL legs this year. So some guys just take longer to get into it than others. Others, just take to it like a duck to water. So, Cade Otton was pretty natural from day one. It did take him it took him a bit of time, but he was already catching passes and what have you. But it was Keith that was the original guy who was getting this high volume when we still had the last year with Tom Brady. It was Keith that got everything, and now Keith is like barely on the team. I mean, he's on the team, but he's barely making a name for himself. So I always liked Keith as being that extra back that you're going to use is just an all-out fucking dude who's just going to go and fuck somebody up, so your running back can get by him. So almost like a traditional fullback.
Yeah, agreed. Another thing that I will say also that I think Cohen has got to learn how to do better at is when it comes to the red zones. It's okay to target Evans the first time. If it's a one-on-one, you go for shit, because that will also set things up where if let's say if we get an incompletion, that has to keep the defense going. Okay, they might go to him again, and we might have to motion another safety, Derwin, over to his side, and that leaves another receiver with an opportunity, or a tight end, or you can run the rock and get in there. Cohen has just got to learn how to trust more into Evans, and that is the guy. You want to feed him the rock, because best believe it or not, Evans wants to get that streak, but not for selfish reasons. He knows that by giving him the rock, it opens an opportunity for other players. So feed your you got to feed your future Hall of Famer.
Yep. You got to feed him, and not only that, the accolade is automatically applied to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers just by like default, right?
Yep. So you got to let him.
He did it as a Buck. He did all this as a Buck. He didn't do it as somebody else. He didn't break this NFL record as in a different uniform. So
Right.
You turn around and say, yeah, the record will be Mike Evans did X, Y, and Z, but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they'll also say the Tampa Bay Buccaneers had a wide receiver that did X, Y, and Z also. So
damn right. And look, we about to have the dude come in here and grace us with the presence. Go ahead, bring that whistling sound. Come on, dude.
I want
We
my
know you
baby
work
back,
in the
baby back,
shadows.
Hey, yo,
Burn it down!
Well, that was a switch up.
How you doing, dude?
Hey, AJ, Slick, welcome. Glad to see you. Slick, are you still driving?
I've just got to my front door right now.
Are you going to scare the family when you go inside, dude?
Nah, they're all asleep. They're all passed out now.
Oh, good. We'll try to keep
It's
it down.
it's
Wake 'em
1
up.
o'clock in the morning here, so there's no one.
Damn. Oh,
Well,
sorry,
that's brutal.
man.
Hey, huge shout out to Alf Colmenar from, I'm going to butcher this, but I'm going to try. Canyonons, eFootball, and his website, bucks.es. Go bucks.es. Go bucks.es. Go bucks.es. Great 2-minute warning there from Alf. And, of course, the two guys on screen holding it down. You see the flames in the background, don't you, AJ?
I do.
You know, you need flames to cook ribs.
That's right.
And if you're going to cook ribs, the best ribs to cook are baby back ribs. Is that correct?
That is absolutely correct.
Does that mean it's time for this week's Baby Back Bitch of the Week award?
Damn right.
Yes, sir.
Are you ready? You want to hold that, or you want to go for it?
I got you. I got your
I
baby.
want my baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back.
Got the
Baby back bitch. Huh?
Baby back bitch. The baby back bitch. Now, I'm trying to wait for Coach Slick to sit down and grace us, because you're not going to want to miss this one, Slick. But yes, the baby back bitch, of course, we can say who he is. It goes to number 11 on the Asses Cowboys. Not Dallas. They don't deserve that. Ass Cowboys. The ass asses. Cowboys. Micah Parsons, who damn near pulled a AB, getting in his feelings, being upset, all because his team and himself played like dog shit. And instead of owning up and manning up and at least trying to galvanize the troops, he's sulking like a baby back bitch. Before we get into the video, though, Slick, dude, we all remember this. Remember when the Bucs was getting their cheeks clapped against the Falcons 56-14? I saw a guy at number 54 try to galvanize the troops and say we are better than this. I saw a guy screaming his heart out because he still wanted people to go out and play with dignity. And mind you, this 54, number 54 was never as hyped. There he is, the pretty man himself, the pretty man across the pond. But yes, Levante David, 56-14 Slick. They was getting their cheeks clapped, and yet he still went out there and played. But we got this guy right here pulling this.
Fuck that.
You are a bitch. You.
This is why you don't have guys like that on your roster. They just can't handle it.
This is why you don't have guys in your roster. I wouldn't get that. This is why we stated before, Slick. We don't want that motherfucker on this team. We don't want that shit. I give you a 7th rounder for him. I give you a 7th rounder, and he's not going to get that kind of money. I give you $20 million. Take it or leave it, ho. Oh, you don't want it? We'll carry your ass on somewhere else, ho, because we ain't got time for that shit.
Can you show that video again?
Of course. We can show that child walking away.
Fuck that.
That motherfucker was on his way to do a podcast.
Yeah, exactly. And the game wasn't over yet. He pulled Isaiah Thomas walking out of the damn stadium. And this is supposed to be a leader. This is supposed to be someone, as I stated, according to other people, generational talent.
I mean, he is talented. We all know that. But at some point, does he have a C on his chest?
I think he does have a C on his chest.
And that stands for cunt. But go ahead.
Yeah, exactly.
Then there's no excuse. You've got to do better than that because everyone's watching you. You know, if I was the head coach of that team, I'd bring him into my office the next day or when we next get a chance to conversation. Say, you do that shit again, I'll trade your ass wherever I don't give a fuck. I will send you to Tingbat fucking 2. I don't give a fuck. You want to go? You think it's hard now? It will get harder when I trade you to the fucking Panthers.
Right.
It will get fucking much harder.
It'll be much harder.
You are a fucking example on this roster, and they're all watching you. And that's why you're in my office now having the conversation, because they need to see that shit's not okay. Because if I let you fucking skate, they'll go, well, coach, don't give a fuck. Why should I give a fuck? And then your locker room is fucking cancered.
Yeah. And
well, just to be fair, sorry, AJ, just to be fair, letting things skate is the cowboy way. Remember, Jerry Jones, the fucking owner, got caught in a hotel room with underage hookers and blow, and not a fucking thing happened legally or by the league. Jerry, first of all, that junk ass face you got going on, ain't nobody fooled, bro. Let it go. You're old. Be old. Second, Micah, you look like a 3-year-old walking out of the fucking kitchen after asking mom if she could lick the fucking beaters on the fucking pudding bowl. And she said no. And you're going to go over there and pout in the corner like a little biatch. And that's what we're calling you. And here's the thing. We're not going to hide behind a keyboard. Hell, this is video. All right. If you see this video, you see who's posted it. Come get some. I'll come on your podcast. I'll set you straight if Jerry won't. I'll set you straight if Mike McCarthy won't. You're a grown-ass man walking away from the rest of your teams with a C on your chest, and then you have the audacity to get on your podcast and social media and act like you're the victim. Oh, it's so hard. Oh, it's so hard. This is so terrible. Motherfucker, you're getting paid a king's ransom to play a fucking game. All you got to do is not be a bitch. If you lose, lose like a man. If you win, win like a man. But you're not worried about the game. You're not worried about the team. You're not worried about any of that. You're worried about the gram. You're worried about your podcast numbers. You're out here chasing Joe Rogan for fucking views, and he don't even know who you are. And here's a real fucking story for you, Micah. If you didn't play football, you'd be a nobody. But you're out there walking off the field into the land of being a nobody. Ask Antonio Brown if he fucking regrets that shit. He ain't man enough to admit it, but trust me, you go from playing on a defending Super Bowl champion to trolling people on Twitter, acting like Elon Musk is going to pay your fucking bills, bro. Micah, You're like that fake ass fucking countertop Formica we got over here in the States, bro. You ain't worth a shit. You don't last. And yeah, you had 3 fucking phenomenal seasons with your sack total, but you were still a bitch then. You were all about dancing after the play, celebrating shit that don't fucking matter. There's one thing to celebrate in the fucking NFL, and that's winning. If you don't believe me, watch your coach get fucking fired because people like you are in charge of the fucking locker room. Grow the fuck up, man the fuck up, and realize just because you can father babies don't make you someone's daddy.
Sustained. I concur, Your Honor. Again, that's the whole point. You're supposed to be the top dog of your position. This is another lesson. Young ones, do not listen to the media. These are the same fuckers that will build you up and tear you down. Because I laugh, Slick. All those people that you and I kept saying the fluff shit, now all of a sudden they want to turn on them, but I go, oh, no, hold the fuck on. You the guy, you are the reason why he thinks he is who he is.
Yep. Because they dressed him up.
Don't get upset now.
Great.
Don't get upset now because he is displaying what you guys thought he was supposed to be. And dude said it. You had 3 good seasons. That's a beautiful thing, but it's also about expanding. Again, I called him out from the beginning. Micah, you can't stop the run for shit. You're a one-trick pony. You did, and look, you had good seasons. You didn't have the seasons where I could say generational. Shaq Barrett had 19 and a half. You ain't got there, motherfucker. So until I see that, Slick, I want to see 20 sacks for 3 straight years. Oh, that's unrealistic. No, it's not. The way that these motherfuckers was glazing them, he was supposed to be the next LT. I've never seen it.
According to this, he's not the captain, and that tells you everything. A senior player of that level, what he's in his 4th year of the league.
That's right.
You're not captain yet? You're not fucking captain yet? That tells you that they do not fucking rate him as a person.
Well, there you go. So he doesn't even have a captain. So the word,
most of your elite players usually have a C on their chest because they're awesome and they're the example that you want everyone to follow. When you're an absolute fucking stud, you want your players to look at him and go, fuck, he's a fucking, that's how I want to be.
Mm-hmm.
Act like a cowboy, lives like a cowboy. He is a cowboy personified. Like you got on our squad, you got Levante David. I watched in the current. They even said when they look at what the blueprint of a Buccaneers player, do you know who they use?
Levante David,
and then Mike as well as, and I think a bit of Mike Evans as well, because that's what it means to be a Buck.
That's what it means to be a Buck, and also, so for Buck fans out there again, like Bowles is doing his best. You guys should be easy on him. Fuck that. They set the standards. We're going to hold them to it. When Brady and them stepped in here and we won that fucking Super Bowl, and even without it, what did he say, Slick? Bowles said, well, we're not here to rebuild. We're here to reset. So we're reset. So now it's up to you to get your fucking shit together. This is what we do. We're holding, and look, we have a clean, healthy locker room. And that's why we don't have a baby back bitch. Now, Dean, you're lucky. You was going to be the baby back bitch, but because the bigger bitch in Micah, look, the way he acts, that ain't Micah. That's Mikala Parsons, Coach Slick.
Hey, I got a question for you. I got a question for both of you. Slick will probably get this reference, but he's way over there on the other side of the pond. But how does, first of all, Micah Parsons, have you done a 23andMe? Because you look like a budget fucking Michael Epps. Okay, that's what you look like. and if you don't know what I'm talking about, everybody Google them because they look like they're related. Actually, you look more like Damon Wayans' son.
Ooh.
But the generic version.
Ooh,
and with that said, you stormed off the field on a national broadcast, basically trying to get the spotlight on you. And here's the thing. We're putting it on you right now, bro, that spotlight you crave. So if you have a hair on your ass, come get some. We're right here, bro. I'll talk shit to your face. Hell, you got a big paycheck. Fly me out to your show, bro. I'll stand in the middle of that star on the field and call you a baby back bitch for the way you acted. You know why? Because somebody in the formidable years of your life growing up never did. And that's why you act this way. Ain't nobody ever called you out the right way. And Mike McCarthy, bro, at Green Bay, you was a respected motherfucker, bro. But now you just sit here and take it like a bitch. You gonna let these players run that show like that? You're not gonna. If John Gruden or Bill Cowher or one of these legendary hard-nosed coaches had someone storm off the field like that, you can bet your bottom ass when he got that locker room, the first fucking locker he went to would be yours and say, "What the fuck was that?" Go apologize to the fucking team, and then during the press conference, you need to apologize. But he couldn't find you in the locker room, Micah, because you were already on fucking Spotify doing your fucking podcast, because you obviously fancy yourself more as a podcaster than a leader of men. But it's not weird that you can't lead men when you act like a little boy. So, Micah, I've called you everything except what your mama did. Okay? So, if you don't like it, come do something about it. But the right move for you would be to hear criticism, hear people talking real to you, and go, damn, these guys aren't even Bucs fans and they calling me a bitch. Yes, we are. And wait till Cowboys week, bro. Okay? You're going to be tagged more than a fucking $3 whore on the fucking corner of Nebraska Avenue in Tampa, bro. Because here's the thing. I know what I stand on. And if I talk smack, I'll back it up. The question is, you couldn't even back up getting beat on a football field. How are you going to do when there's grown-ass men calling you out? Anyway, well, maybe something more positive right now. And I do want to bring up this great comment by JT Olson. I do think we slept on this a little bit for our baby back bitch of the week. So let's go ahead and bring that comment up and go, all right, honorable mention, JT. The whole congressman trying to pass laws about flag planting. Bro, NCAA, why are you letting this become political, bro? Either do something about it or don't. But let's move on from that shit, guys.
Oh, come on. It's just one of those things. All right, so I got baby back bitch of the week. A.J. Brown. So in the locker room turnaround, they asked him, what could the Eagles do better? He said passing. Called out his own fucking quarterback in a win streak. They haven't lost a fucking game, and he's pouting. Can you imagine how people like Mike Evans would feel if they just said, what I'm going to do is just give you like fucking 5-6 wins in a row, but you're not going to get the ball very much. You'd be like, fucking, let's go.
Yeah, we've been in this situation.
Who's he related to?
Oh, Antonio Brown.
Oh, shit don't fall far from the tree. Okay, go ahead.
It does not fall far. Nope.
The doo-doo track stains keep going. Yes, but Mike Evans went through this shit during the Super Bowl run. It took him the last game of the season to get the 1,000 yards, but he never bitched about it because you know why? Evans saw the bigger picture. He said, "We're about to win a Super Bowl. I don't give a fuck about this." You could tell in Evans and the rest of the players, especially Evans' demeanor, though. You could see that he's like, "Oh my God, I'm actually about to go places and win some shit. Fuck a streak." He's looking at the big picture. I guarantee you, Brady said,
he's already cemented himself in NFL history. Anything else he does now is just fucking, it's cherries on top. It's cherries on top. He's already broken that. The only way that this streak looks bad is if someone else beats it. And it's going to take them 10 years to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not that simple. All it takes is Jay Jets to slip on a roller skate and that's it. He ain't getting it.
On a diamond.
Not like I want like other people to fail. I'm just saying there's a reason why it hasn't been done that often. Maybe we'll see a trend where a few more other people might do it. I don't know. But right now, Mike Evans is in it. And I've said this before. When Mike Evans retired, if no one's touching the streak, he'll get in as a first ballot. If someone's already got the streak by the time he's in the Hall of Fame, is close to the streak, by the time his name's called, then there'll be a harder discussion to have. But if he's the only person and he's by a clear landslide and he's top this and top that, because we already know where he is in touchdowns. He's going like top 10 in touchdowns for his career of all time, and people forget shit. He might be, and if I don't know who said this, I'm not entirely sure, but it was a great quote. Mike Evans is probably the greatest red zone threat wide receiver of all time. All time.
Yeah. Brian Baldinger said we haven't seen a red zone threat like this since Randy Moss. And that speaks volumes. And Baldinger is a NFL legend himself. He played.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not just blowing smoke. Again, with the Mike Evans situation, here's another thing. I think statistically he has over 100. Some of the best wide receivers that everybody loves so much don't even have that. Calvin Johnson, Andre Johnson, none of those guys have it. And Calvin's in the Hall. Now, we're not saying that Evans is better than Calvin, but the point is Evans put in the work. Evans has far more touchdowns than Evans has more touchdowns than Calvin Johnson.
And all my friends who talk shit about Mike Evans, and then we got to the Super Bowl era, and it put a magnifying glass on top of him, right? And then all of a sudden, because we were playing national televised games, more of them, we won some of them, or we had great performances in them, and he shone in them, and of course we won the Super Bowl. And now they're all, every time Mike Evans' contract came up for renewal, they're like, "Oh, he's not staying. He's not." And I just sit there laughing, and they're like, "What are you laughing about?" I'm like, "He'll be a Buck. Don't you worry." "Yo, you're fucking deluded. You fucking deluded. He ain't gonna be a Buck. He's gonna go to Kansas City." And I'm like, "Just watch. Just watch." And I just sat there and went, "I fucking told you." I said, "I've been watching this guy since he got fucking drafted. I watched him get his first touchdown. I've seen him play live multiple times. And once one time in his rookie year. I know what that guy's cut from. He ain't no fucking diva, whatever. He ain't chasing that shit. He wants to be happy. And that's one of the biggest things that a lot of people, you go chasing things. Yes, I understand if you're like this elite wide receiver, like who did the Chiefs recently get a wide receiver?
Hopkins.
But he had to make that move because he needs to have a Super Bowl to make himself more relevant, right? Because you put him and Mike Evans, let's say they retire exactly the same time, which means they go into the Hall in theory at the same time. Who are you picking?
Oh,
Evans. Mike Evans has the ring and probably beats him in every in the touchdowns and thing. You can't put somebody who's got less touchdowns, less Super Bowl rings, and less yards into the Hall over somebody else. You just can't. That's sacrilege.
And then it shows that it's biased because here's Hopkins' career stats.
Hopkins is amazing for a start. He has been shit for the last 4 years.
Yes, he has 12,885 yards and 83 touchdowns. However, Evans has over 100 touchdowns. Mm-hmm. And Evans
he's and that's what I mean. He will when you're going to get down to this and you're splitting hairs. What does the other one have? I imagine Hopkins has more Pro Bowls. That's it. Yeah. That's the only thing he's got, which is a fucking vote. So he's got voted more times as a really, really good wide receiver, but one's got better statistical yards. One has a Super Bowl, and now that Mike Evans has been going to the playoffs on a regular basis, he'll probably have more playoff receiving yards and playoff touchdowns.
Yeah, this will be his. Well, when we do it, because I'm going to say that this will be his 5th straight playoff run. That's really good.
I think people don't walk from Tampa because they see the potential. It's easy to see the potential on a team when you're when we were like that teetering team where we'd win 6 games, 8 games, or what have you, and you're like, okay, this team could, if they insert this piece and insert that piece and insert that piece, they could be special, right? They can get off that hump and become a playoff team. This team is more a playoff team. So when you're in that situation, everyone's looking and going, well, I'll stay because we're on a playoff team. Why would I fucking leave?
Mm-hmm.
You leave a team when you're like, I'm into the playoff. Like, no one would blame Levante David if when his contract ran out and let's say the Buccaneers hadn't been to the playoffs still, and we're like year 10 or whatever, and he decides to go off to Kansas City. No one's going to get angry at that shit.
Nope.
Because he's when you've done 10 years in a place and that's special in itself, it speaks volumes. Now we have multiple guys on this squad, especially this current crop. We got Mike Evans and we got we got three guys. We got Mike Evans, Levante David, and Will Golston. Are guys all over 10 years. That's fucking special, man.
Mm-hmm.
And two of them are so special that one I call a folklore legend. Like he's a local. He's that guy that you love, Will Golston. He does the job. He's not flashy. He's never going to be in the papers. He's not going to be on ESPN. He's never going to get recognized for any of it. But we'll go, that's one of our guys.
Yeah, he can hold his head high in Tampa, and he will be a legend. He will be loved, and that's fine. Players like that, they love that shit. And yes, you're right. And that's the whole thing that's special about Evans. Evans never pulls this, and we're just got to put this last thing out here. Win or lose, he's never gonna have this bitch ass.
Fuck that.
And mind you, he said this hurt more than a playoff game. I'm sitting back like, what the fuck? That hurt more than a playoff game.
When you lose in the playoffs, your football season's ended.
Right.
That's got to be the hardest loss, right?
Right.
But my team, I've been coaching for a while, and I've only been to the playoffs once. And I was very, very fortunate that I had a great squad that pushed ourselves all the way to the championship game.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've spoken about this to you or I've spoken about this on air or whatever. I fucking cried after that loss. I was in tears and I was consoling other teammates who were crying because of how much it fucking meant to them because they were that close to winning it all, right? Now, yeah, if we lost in the second round of the playoffs, it would be... I cried once we made the game. I was choked the fuck up.
Right.
I was visibly. My wife got a picture of me hugging someone, and it's because we're both fucking crying on each other. Because we're like, we've made it. We've worked. So when I first started playing the game, I played for a team called the Worcestershire Black Knights, which is my local team. It's literally down the road. They don't exist anymore. They disbanded. They ran out of money, and and I had to move on. So I was their defensive. I was a DB for them. Then I became a defensive backs coach. Then I became a defensive coordinator for 2 years, and then they disbanded. I was looking at being their head coach, but I wasn't sure I was ready for that because I don't particularly want to be a head coach. If I'm honest, right. I don't really care. They get all this. They get all the love, but it's a lot to take in, especially this year. Very logistical as well, and it's not so. I don't have the time for it yet. Maybe when my kids are growing up a bit more. But I'd only been in one place. When I was there, we went to the playoffs. My second year. We didn't play because we didn't have enough. We forfeited the playoffs. That fucking hurt. We forfeited the playoffs because we had guys who didn't want to play because we knew we were going to get our asses whooped. Because we played against a team that's already whooped our asses. And I didn't give a shit. I was ready to play anyway. Well, you played to be in the playoffs, right? That's the way I looked at it. And then after that, we won a game, didn't win a game, didn't win a game, didn't win a game for a whole season. So 3 seasons in a row. Then we drew a game, won a game. I go to Sandwell. We lose every single game in our first year. Second season with them, we go. So you can see how much it's almost like ultimate validation. Like I don't suck as a coach because that shit goes through your mind. That shit genuinely goes through your mind when you have a losing season. Like I blame myself all the time. Like I'll always put more pressure on myself than I do on my guys. It's my fault. It's my fault. It's my fault. It's my fault.
I agree, man. Look, I understand, but this is how you know that answer, that was a selfish thing. Your ego and pride was hurt, not for the team, but for your fucking self. So at that point, it's about you, Micah. Who the fuck, like you said, when you lose the playoffs, that's it. Do you look, when we lost against the Rams on our Super Bowl run,
I had a day off from work. I literally rang in work and went, I need a day off. And they went, why? I used a vacation day so I could just get my head mentally right because I was so fucking pissed off and moody. Now I'm quite good at not affecting that onto my children and my family. I always try and bounce back quite quick, and I am a genuinely positive person. But I needed a day. Like I just didn't want to speak to anyone. I didn't want to talk to the motherfucker. I can talk to my wife all day. She'll understand that my children, they'll always fill me with happiness. But fuck, man, I don't live in the States, right? So I don't have to speak to anybody who knows anything about football.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to see anybody.
Oh no, that shit. It was an ass. It hurt because even then, my girl, we went to her friend's place and we watched that fucking Super Bowl. Seeing them beat the Bengals made me even angrier. I was like, because I'm like, that was supposed to be us whooping the Bengals. The Bengals wouldn't even have been close if the Bucs did it. But yes, when you lose like that, knowing you had the potential and you were better and you played better, that fucking hurts because, like you said, Coach, your season's over. All that you worked for is gone, and you gotta hope that next season can be better. And you gotta wait and stomach that. And looks like it makes it worse because here in the States, my brother, we got to fucking watch the games afterwards. Now I got to evaluate, damn, my team didn't do this. Look, even last year, and I'm working on not getting upset, but it makes me mad for all other.
I know how upset you get because I've been around it.
Yes,
you get very silent very quick.
Yes, because if I don't want to crash out because that you heard that fucking Falcon fan talk that shit, and I'm like, you will get punched in the mouth. You know that, right? And that's why I have to maintain my, because then I will go into mean shit and be like, bruh, y'all are still 28-3. I wish to God I would have got that.
We would have to do the 28-3 thing. They had a Division 2 fucking game division lead.
I wish I would have got that person's social media, because now I'd be like this. I'd come up and go, the fuck going on now? What happened? Raheem, what happened to your coach? Ooh, this is giving me 2011 vibes. Do you remember 2011, Slick? We lost 10 straight games because Raheem was fucking up. It's not, look, I picked this. I said the Raiders are going to beat the Falcons. You know why? It's not because I'm trying to be biased, but they're going to Vegas. They're not playing at home. And guess who's going to crash out on them? Crosby. Put it this way.
You think Crosby's going to have one of those strip sack fumble returns for a touchdown?
Put it this way. He had to go.
I'm calling it here. Crosby, strip, sack, fumble, recovery, touchdown. Or someone's going to recover it and touchdown.
I have him with 3 sacks. Here's why. When you go through worse, I guarantee you I would love to ask years down the line. Going through worse and then going to Atlanta's tackle is going to be like heaven for him. I had to go through this motherfucker. But now, because the interior strength of their line is the guards, not the tackles, Crosby is going to fucking eat. And Ritter's going to find a way to outplay them. But most importantly, Kirk is ass. But
and the tight end's a slot receiver, right?
Oh, Kyle? Maybe. Oh, you talking about Bowers, and he's been going off, but we'll see. I just feel like that.
No, I meant Atlanta's. Oh, Pitts, right?
Yeah, Pitts. He's
a slot receiver. He's a slot receiver. He ain't gonna attach himself and help out his tackle.
Nope, and he's playing like his last name in the fucking Pitts. Because put it this way,
generational talent. Remember, they told us.
Don't get me started. I'm a Gator at heart, but anyway,
it's good for you in the Gators. That's all that fucking matters, right?
Exactly.
What they do. You want to see them take the success to the next level, but at the same time, if it's not for your squad, you're like, oh well, you did good work.
But also, it's not reality. Like motherfuckers, everybody thinks just because you were the man in college, we know this. I'm like, it's different. But I'm gonna say this about the Falcons: when they lose against the Raiders, their season is cooked because the Bucs are going to beat the Chargers, and I'm stamping this right now before I roll out, Slick. The score going to be 31-17. Why? Because I watch this, and this is what's going to make me mad, but I'm going to be happy at the same time. You said it. We play to our competition. I have a feeling that they'll know, oh, this is not the team to fuck around with. And I think the urgency is going to be up there, and I won't be surprised. And again, like I said, if the Bucs get up early, I see them getting up early, and Herbert doesn't have people to throw to, so they're going to try to dink and dunk their way, but time is going to be against them. That's why. And I think when the Bucs get up early, we've said it, that's when Bowles will go turn into a mad scientist and develop some schemes or some shit that we don't see. And then with Tyke in there, I think Tyke is our new guy who brings the best out of the players, because he has the Rondé Barber mentality, and that's another thing. You said it. if you blitz with him, he can make things happen. Herbert doesn't have a lot of people want to say this, like that Herbert is the clear better quarterback than Baker. I disagree. I think this season Baker is outplaying Herbert. And I told people this, you can't say about the weapons because Mayfield was putting up numbers when Evans and Godwin were out. So we're not going to go there. So Baker is the better quarterback. Now, I ain't saying he's far better. It's a slight better. But Herbert also is playing with an injury. He was injured in that Chiefs game. So that's going to take a toll. So that's why I do think that this Bucs team will be able to close. I honestly got the Bucs being able to say, we got this season. We got this NFC South division by the time we play the punk-ass Cowboys.
I think that would be nice to have. I think if we finish off with the Cowboys, I think if we get 2 games in front, I think
we're done. We're done. We're good. We're good to go. We're good to go.
Yeah. I think what was it? Well, how many games left the season?
It's 4. So we got Chargers, Dallas, Panthers.
If we can beat Dallas,
the Kittens, and they're coming to our house, so it's going to be a little different.
And then we pick up with the Saints. I think the Saints will be a bit of an arm wrestle.
Oh, the booty taints is going to be done. The booty taints.
I think they'll either. I think it will either go a fucking blowout victory for us, or it will be hard fought and we'll win.
I think it's going to be a blowout because by this point, here's the thing: they have nobody at this point. Taysom Hill, he's out for the season. Derek Carr,
he's my least favorite players of all time. I don't know why. He just looks so smug.
Oh, he got a punchable face. That's all. He got a punchable face, and I'm not happy he's out, but he's out. So they Olive because he's Olive Branch. He's done. No disrespect, but it's the Saints. I think by then are going to be in the. All right, guys, let's just go to evaluation. The Panthers are going to try to put up a fight, but if we get our shit together and beat them early, they might go, all right, guys, yeah, it's nice, let's get ready for Barbados, okay?
Yeah, let's get to Cancun. Let's get this shit done.
Let's do something because, we're not going anywhere. So if like I said, the Bucs win this game and then the Falcons fall, they're done. They're not going to be able to come back because then
they're not built for that.
They play the Giants.
They ain't built for it, and we're built. We're built. What's it? This is their 4th game that they've lost.
Yeah.
So they've gone into a 4-game skid like we did. Can they resurrect? That's the real question because we picked ourselves up and dust ourselves off. They've got themselves a game in front of them where they should. No, I'm under no illusions. You should beat the fucking Raiders.
I said that too. I just don't see it. I don't see it.
No, I agree with you, and I hope they fucking don't. I'm just saying, if I'm in the Raiders, I'm a Raiders fan or a Falcons fan or in the Falcons organization. This is the game to get you right. But then you might be able to get some momentum. I don't know who they have after that. I'm not entirely sure.
They have the Giants. So they have 2 games that they realistically should.
So basically, it's kind of like they started like we did. So their skid start. Here it is. This is it. We went to we played the Giants and beat them. Yep. Right, got ourselves going. Then we went to the Raiders, beat them. It continues on. They are in the exact same 2 games. They're just the reverse order. They've lost 4 games in a row. Mm-hmm. Can they do it?
And that's the
real question.
And that's the real question. I agree. And the difference is, no, we told people outside of Bowles with his bullshit scheme, the Falcons aren't there yet. We bitch about pass rush, right, Slick? Can you imagine being a Falcon fan? Their pass rush is non-existent. They have like 9 sacks. That's awful. They're dead last. They have no one that can get to the ball. At least we have people that can do it. They ain't got nothing. They've been and relying on their secondary so long has come back to bite them in the ass. I told people.
Yeah, because you can't cover if there's no pressure.
Exactly. You can't cover
for a certain amount of time. Someone's going to get open eventually because you know what I mean?
Oh, that's just, well, first of all, Slick, we know common sense of football. You have no pressure. I can literally just dink and dunk and set screens. Oh, and here's another thing. If your quarterback throws 8 interceptions and no touchdowns, he has a fucking donut for touchdown stats. That's awful. That means you're bad.
We were fucking in our games and we were fucking throwing touchdowns and we're living and dying.
Oh yeah, he has. I tell people this. In the past 2 games, yes, Baker has thrown interceptions, but he also has thrown touchdowns, and he's also come back. So he has the mentality to get through that. Kirk doesn't. Kirk literally, when he's through, he's through.
Yeah, if you bury him early, a 2 touchdown lead, he probably isn't coming back.
And Drake London ain't the guy there. Everybody kept saying. I kept telling people, I'm like,
the Falcons aren't the fucking team. You remember they were saying like they're going to run away with the division. So many of my friends were telling me like, "Oh man, the Falcons are so fucking good. You guys are probably going to come like 3rd in your division because the Saints are awesome and you're shit." And I'm like, "Fuck, we're going to win the thing again." And they laughed, and I was like, "Watch."
Oh yeah, no, you got to.
And then we got hot, and they were like, "You know what, Slick? You're right." And then we got injured and stuff, and they were like, "Okay, fair enough." They're like, "If you weren't injured, you probably would." And I'm like, "I'm telling you, you guys blow way too much smoke up the Falcons' asses. They're just not. They're not built that way.
They're not.
They've got a head coach that's fumbled the ball before. He ain't done the job. And you think with Kirk, who's got less help than he had in Minnesota. Don't get me wrong, they have good players on the Falcons. Of course they do. But Kirk hasn't got the talent that he had in Minnesota. Not even close.
Not even close.
Not even fucking. You trying to tell me that fucking
Drake London
Jay Jets is Drake London is Jay Jets? No, of course he's not.
Maroney's not even Addison. Pitts ain't even Hawkinson. So we all said, if you can't even make it work up there, what the fuck you think you're gonna do down here? And that's all we were trying to tell people. We were saying, guys, I hear you, but that's not it. And
they will be competitive. They will be in games. They will fight. They will probably end up the season with a winning record. But to say that they're better than us, did you not see the season that our guy just had? Did you not just see how this team beat the fucking brakes off the Philadelphia Eagles in the playoffs? Remind me how many people have been left off that team that beat the brakes off the Philadelphia Eagles, starters-wise? No.
Yep.
We lost it. Sorry, Carlton Davis. The only soul that is lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers from year to year. That's the only soul. And you know what? Zion McCullum has stepped up more than any of us imagined. So we kind of solved that fucking problem.
Yep.
Yes, our pass rush still isn't exactly what we'd like it to be, but the Falcons are so much further behind us than that.
Exactly. Much further. And that's all we were trying to say. And I said,
and K-Dot is better than your boy.
Yeah, K-Dot is better. He really is. But I said this. Now, you go to my TikTok, I put this weeks ago, and even Falcon fans are coming in. Damn, AJ, you wasn't hating. You did say this. I said, if you guys don't whoop on the Saints.
But we don't hate. Dude, we don't hate. There's no hate. We just talk football.
We talk football. I said this, like I said, if y'all don't beat the Saints and y'all can't win, that's your season right there. Why? Because you can't put away teams that you're supposed to, and you can't bounce back like the Bucs. Like you said, the Bucs can lose a game or have a streak of games, but we find a way to bounce back because we're resilient and we've been there before. Falcons, those players haven't been at that level before. All they know is mediocrity. So when shit goes south, it's here we go again. And I guess this is it. And that's what happened. And that's, you know why they got confidence, Slick, because they beat us. The simple fact that they were beating us, that's when they got their big heads like, yeah, see, we can go places. We're gonna do things. Okay.
Yep. And we saw the real truth.
We saw the real truth.
They got lucky in those games.
Yeah, the first game.
I mean, the first one, I give them their due. They outplayed us. I'll put my hand on my heart. I'll say they outplayed us. The second game, we're so underhanded, they should have fucking whooped us.
Yes. And we still.
This team, they played against a Buccaneers team who literally just played on, was it Monday Night Football? Then had to go and play Sunday. So they're a day behind. And they're missing Mike Evans. And they're missing Chris Godwin. You couldn't have fucking picked a better time to beat the Bucs. You should have poured it on us, and we should have scored fuck all because we had no one to throw the ball to. We had a tight end that you guys probably don't even think's any good as our leading receiver that day. But we still got in the game. We still did our thing, and we still fought
to the last minute. To the last minute. Was I mad? Yes, but it was just again. We're back in
You're
the
mad because you attended the game, dude. That's about half the fucking problem. You know what I'm saying? Like you go there and you're like, oh, fuck.
Yes, I want to be.
I'm still yet to see the Buccaneers win in person.
Yeah, and that's my thing.
It's the change for me.
I feel you, and I'm home. That's my city. That's my love. That's my origin. I want to be in there winning, and then that But it's okay. Make it up to us, Bucs, and you win against
get us the division, and let's win some fucking player football.
My man. Well, I'm gonna wrap myself up about this bitch. I appreciate y'all checking us out. As always, again, check me out on It's About Buck and Time, my YouTube channel. Also, AJ Turnup on all my other social media and TikTok, whatever's left of it. Slick, always a pleasure, my man. Y'all take care of yourself and go Bucs. Easy, my
brother. Go Bucs. I'll see you soon, brother.
You too, my man.
Okay, guys, that's pretty much the end of the show. I do apologize that I was on the road. But sometimes my job, I had a new job recently, and sometimes that job goes over. So I don't have no control over that. So speeding down the M5 and trying to get home in time to get on this thing and chat with you guys is always something I want to do. But yeah, if I can't make it, I will try to do it via the car. But thanks for persevering. Thank you, AJ, for holding down the fort until I could get on. And everyone, big game for us. We win this one. Falcons fail again. Can you just imagine, guys? Just imagine. No tiebreakers, no bullshit. Buccaneers just only have to win one more game after that. We're all praying. I don't pray, but I'll pray. Fuck it. I'm praying that the Falcons lose and we win. A 2-game win streak. All we have to do is pick one of the Saints. Take the Saints, the Cowboys, doesn't matter who, or the kitty cats. We're in. And then we can go to fucking work. Let's go and win some fucking playoff games. Let's show everyone that we, as the Buccaneers, can go win. And it don't matter who you are. Let's scalp some motherfuckers. Bucs on me, Bucs on free. 1, 2, 3. Go Bucs!